Hello and welcome to the Gradcracker webinar with MathWorks, our final webinar of 2025, and what a way to end the year. My name is Sophie, I'm a director at Gradcracker and I've been with the business for the last 13 years. I've been working with MathWorks for the last 5 years and I'm really excited for you all to find out more about them today. I'm also joined by my co-director Jessica, who I'm sure many of you will recognise from previous webinars and the many university presentations she delivers. So during today's webinar, our aim is to find out more about MathWorks, their opportunities and what life is like working there. Starting with our contact Amy, the early careers recruiter, we'll have an introduction to the business and their opportunities. The rest of the panel from MathWorks will then talk to you about their educational background, their day-to-day roles, how the graduate scheme works, what life is like working at MathWorks, and their future plans. So a lot to cover. Towards the end of the webinar, we'll discuss the recruitment process and give you some hints and tips on how to be successful in securing a role with MathWorks, including some of the individual experiences of the graduates. There'll also be a few questions from you, our students, dotted throughout the webinar that you've kindly submitted in advance of today. Okay, so let's get started. Amy, thank you very much for joining us again. Could you tell our audience all about MathWorks?
Of course. Well, thank you for having us again. It's a pleasure to be back. MathWorks. So we are a privately held global software company, and we are the creators of MATLAB and Simulink, which I'm sure that many of you are currently using or will be using at some point during your studies. We're very big across education, but along with education, our tools can be found in many industries, across like automotive, financial services, pharmaceuticals, you name it. We probably touch it in some shape or form. And we currently have over 6,500 staff members across the world. We've got 34 offices. Here in Cambridge, which is our third biggest office, we've got just over 300 full-time staff members. And then we're hiring, we have 20 interns for the summer too, which will be really good fun. MathWorks is a company, very stable, been profitable every year since we were founded. And of course, being privately owned does help us sort of plan for the longer term, focus on what's important to us as an organization, which to kind of MathWorks is our people and our products. And alongside that, especially the last few years, I've been really focusing on sustainability. It kind of forms an absolute priority for us, and kind of we're doing a lot of work to offset our emissions. So that's something just kind of worth noting for those of you that are interested in kind of sustainability. And then one final thing, very recently we were ranked number 10 on Glassdoor's best place to work. So multiple years running, we've hit the top 10. And actually, very recently, a number 3 on the best led tech companies on Glassdoor for 2025. So that kind of speaks for itself, and I guess how our employees feel about not only the company, but our CEO too. So I hope that's a nice little overview of who we are, what we're about.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Amy. And I have to say, every time we do one of these sessions, it comes across how lovely the kind of environment working at MathWorks is. So, which I know we're going to find out a bit more today. So thank you for the introduction to the business. Can you give us an overview now of the roles that you recruit each year and the ones that you've currently got advertised on your Gradcracker Company Hub?
Absolutely. So every year we recruit both for our engineering development group, which is our early careers program, which all the panelists are currently a part of. And we also have our summer internships within software development, all currently advertised on the hub. Right now, we are actively recruiting for both. So kind of looking for STEM students, programming skills, enjoy problem solving, sort of looking for that kind of longer term career in software development. Alongside that, we also do have opportunity for those STEM students that are actually interested in a more of a technical sales position, as opposed to software development. So we do have that advertised on Gradcracker on our hub as well for you to take a look at.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. And in terms of the requirements to apply for one of the internships or graduate schemes, give us a little bit of info about what you're looking for there.
Yes, so for our the engineering development group and for internships, we are looking at students that are on like a master's, integrated master's, or a PhD course.
Hmm.
We are looking for a little bit more, I guess, in respect of that additional experience, such as like working like a master thesis project, developing kind of the skills like longer term planning, time management, collaboration. We look at PhD students as well, given they sometimes have a little bit more subject domain knowledge,
Hmm.
so that can kind of be useful when working with customers here as part of the program.
Hmm.
Um, and for our technical sales position, that is a bachelor's
Hmm.
requirement for the sales track as part of the early careers team. I
Brilliant.
guess also to note, we have opportunities within our graduate team for those that have like European language skills as well,
Hmm.
because we do work with customers across Europe. So that's just something, I guess, to as a nice to have as well.
Yeah. So make sure if you've got those language skills that you mention it in your applications.
Yes, please.
Amazing. Thank you. And in terms of degree backgrounds, Amy, what sort of degree background requirements do you have?
Yeah, so we like to keep the team quite diverse across the STEM subjects. So
Hmm.
we like to try and make sure that we're covering so engineering, like
Hmm.
mechanical, electrical, computer, etc., like aerospace, but
Hmm.
also computer science.
Hmm.
We also hire like physicists, mathematicians. So each year we do try and sort of make sure the team is, I guess, as evenly spread across different subjects as we can. So
Yeah.
we're not kind of just hiring computer scientists or just hiring engineers. We do
Yeah.
try and spread it out to have a nice mix.
Perfect. Yeah, I think sometimes when you look at MathWorks and you see a software company, you just assume it's just computer science, but that's not the case, is it? Um, Fantastic. And you mentioned you guys are all based in Cambridge. Tell us a little bit more about working life, office-based, hybrid working. How does that look?
Of course, yeah. So say we offices in Cambridge on the Cambridge Science Park, and we have hybrid working. So we have 3 days a week in the office, and then 2 days where you can kind of be in the office or work from home. Our offices, they're open sort of 5 days. All facilities are available 5 days, and we do
Mm.
have quite a few staff that come in every day. So if you are somebody that prefers to be in the office every day, that's absolutely fine. There'll be people around. You're not kind of on your own.
Yeah.
But for those of you that want a bit of flexibility, that of course it is there. It's
Mhm.
kind of the structure that we have does allow for that in-person collaboration, but also gives flexibility. We kind of want to really encourage a strong work-life balance here.
Mhm.
And then one final thing that we offer as part of that is 4 weeks of working from elsewhere. If people
Okay.
want to extend holidays or visit friends, family abroad, work from there
Mhm.
for a few weeks, that's something that we offer too as part of that flexibility.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much, Amy. So we touched upon this, but all the graduates on the panel today are on the Engineering Development Group program. So could you give us a bit of an overview of that program, Amy?
Yeah, definitely. So this is essentially our like a entry pathway into a
Hmm.
longer term career at MathWorks. So the purpose of the program is to sort of bridge between like education and working in industry. We try and kind of start people in like cohorts so that you're working with
Hmm.
like-minded individuals, and that peer group and. Basically, you kind of get started with a training plan to get sort of fully ramped up, lots of learning, kind of understanding like our tools, different uses in industry. So there's lots of initial support to help you get settled into the team
Hmm.
before then moving into like rotational project work and technical support, which sort of the team will cover kind of throughout this.
Hmm.
But it's quite a unique opportunity in that you do get to work with many different teams across the Cambridge office and
Hmm.
the flexibility that it allows because you're kind of picking what teams you do projects with.
Yeah.
And we find that often appeals because you're not doing like fixed rotations. You're kind of choosing projects, choosing teams based on what you enjoy and taking that time to explore and figure out, I guess, the ultimately kind of the target team for you longer term.
Hmm.
So yeah, and I guess opportunities to develop leadership skills, which again, I think some of the team are going to touch on a little bit more later on.
Fantastic. Thank you, Amy. It's really nice that everyone kind of starts in the same place, isn't it? And then, has that opportunity to kind of build their own career out from there. And yeah, I'm really excited to hear everyone's experiences so far. But before we move on, we have our first student question, which is from Omar at the University of Birmingham. And he asks, what coding languages should I know before joining you? Is there any specific ones that would make my application stand out?
Sure. So the requirement is just one language.
Okay.
So one language is absolutely fine. If you know one language, you can learn another. We can provide support with that.
Mhm.
And we don't sort of prioritize one over the other.
Okay.
As I said, we do recruit from different degree disciplines.
Mhm.
Some degrees focus more on obviously different languages, and we have teams here that we say are working across MATLAB, but also like C++,
Mhm.
JavaScript, Go. So even having MATLAB knowledge, that's not required.
Yeah.
We just like you to be able to know one language,
Mhm.
and that's absolutely fine.
And then you can teach the rest from there.
Exactly, yes. And
Brilliant. Thank
hopefully
you.
we'll be the best people to teach you
Yeah,
MATLAB.
absolutely. You would hope so, wouldn't you? Brilliant. Thank you, Amy. We'll be coming back to you towards the end of the webinar to run through the recruitment process. But now we're going to meet the rest of the panel from MathWorks. So we are joined by Lara, Daman, Jingswan, and Yasin, who are all graduates of MathWorks in the Engineering Development Group. So over to you, Jess.
Perfect. Thank you, Sophie, and thank you, Amy, for that fantastic introduction. Lara, I'm going to come to you first. Please, could you introduce yourself? So, where did you go to university? What did you study? And why?
So, hi, my name is Lara. I studied mechatronics and robotics engineering and an integrated master's degree at the University of Sheffield. Um, and why have I picked it? I just think it's a good mix of there's a lot of skills you can learn. It's a lot of integrated like electrical, mechanical, computer science, bits of everything, and a lot of unique skills.
Yeah. So, did before your decision to study at university that this was the route for you and this was the kind of the goal, or was you always been quite open-minded to where you could potentially end up?
I was a bit open-minded just because so I did, uni was 5 years for me. And so when I was first applying, it was a kind of a new degree to do. So there was not a lot of information out about it. But I consider myself a creative, so an artist, and I love engineering and physics and mathematics. And it kind of just presented itself as an opportunity that bridges between both sides. And so it's great, like programming robots, building them and watching the process from or building the process from beginning to end. It sounded like a very interesting thing. And then when I was speaking to people back then, they highlighted a lot of skills that would make me stand out as an engineer. As engineers tend to be traditionally, for example, let's say mechanical or electrical, they wouldn't know what's going on the other side. And so I bridge the gap between them
Mm.
and connect
Yeah.
teams.
Best of both worlds then, really,
Yeah,
haven't you? Got that mindset
exactly.
of both, which is
Mhm.
amazing. So, you have kind of just recently joined MathWorks, haven't you? So tell us how long you've been there and also your current role, so your current job title.
So I joined in September this year, so approximately 3 months, and I've joined the engineering development group.
Fantastic. And how are you enjoying it? How's the last 3 months gone for you?
It's been very interesting. No day is similar to another. So there's a lot of skills being learned every day, and the role changes. Like you get to pick what skills you want to learn, and so there's a lot of diversity on day-to-day basis. So it's been very interesting and very engaging so far.
Oh, love it. And I can't wait to hear more because, yeah, I love the idea of that you can almost take control. Like Sophie, what you just said earlier, it's that you can build out your own career. You can pick, where you want to go next. So, yeah, super exciting. Yeah, thank you, Lara, for that introduction. Deman, I'm going to come to you next. Similar kind of questions, if that's okay. So, where did you go to university? What did you study and why?
Yeah. So I did an integrated master's in computer science at Royal Holloway.
Yeah.
I always wanted to work with technology, you know, from young. I was interested in games. So
Okay.
first I thought there'd be a path to game development. But then
Yeah.
I grew a little bit older and I was like, no, I'd rather work on products that make a difference.
Yeah.
But I was always going to do it in software.
Okay.
The computer science was like a clear-cut path for me.
Yeah.
It's like
And
my life.
Yeah, you knew
Yeah.
that was, and where you are now, did you expect to be doing what you're doing now, or has it kind of led you into different directions, which you thought maybe when you're at university you wouldn't be doing?
Yeah. So, I mean, originally I wasn't sure where I was going to end up. I knew
Hmm.
I'd work in software. I didn't know where or what my role would look like.
Hmm.
But when I saw the sort of post for MathWorks, I
Yeah,
was like, okay, this is going to be a place where I can sort of pick different skills, explore, and
yeah,
sort of figure out where I want to go. So
yeah.
even now, like I'm not sure where I'm still going to end up, what I'm going to end up
Yeah.
doing, but here's somewhere I can find that out.
Exactly. And this is one thing I'm pushing at the moment. So I'm glad that Lara, you've answered similar as well, because when I'm doing my presentations and I'm speaking to students, I'm constantly saying to them, yes, there might be that obvious industry that you're interested in right now as an undergraduate or, whatever stage of your career journey you're at, but keep an open mind because you never know where you're going to end up. You don't know the projects you're going to be working on and all this stuff. And this obviously particular program is it's so geared up for that, which is fantastic. So, Deman, tell us a little bit more then. So, how long have you been at MathWorks for, and what's your current role?
Yeah, so I joined with Laura. So I've started in
Yeah.
September, so just
Hmm.
under 3 months now. And yeah,
Yeah.
I'm an engineer in the engineering development group.
Program, fantastic, perfect. Thank you so much for that introduction. So, Jings Wan, I'm going to come to you next. Similar kind of questions, if that's okay. So, where did you go to university? What did you study, and why?
So I went to university at the University of Cambridge,
Yeah.
and I did bachelor and master in information and computer engineering.
Yeah.
So the reason why I chose engineering at Cambridge first is that I know that it's a 4 year integrated degree with the first 2 years being general engineering.
Yeah.
And I love the idea that I get to have a taste of different fields of engineering, including aerospace,
Mm.
civil engineering, mechanics. Even though that I knew I'm like more interested in information theories and coding
Mhm.
and the machine learning side of things. The first 2 years has been really rewarding with me getting experience in different fields, expanding my knowledge. And
Mhm.
my last 2 years of the degree has been more focused on the areas that I'm actually interested, like the most interested in, such as
Mhm.
the information theories, the signal processing, computer visions, and also machine learning. Yeah.
Yeah. Would you see this kind of first couple of years of the kind of general engineering side has helped you in your role now? Is there any kind of skills that you learned from that that you've then been able to apply in the role that you do now?
Yes, definitely. I would say the most important skill I've learned during the first 2 years of my degree is how to pick up a new field, how to pick up the knowledge in that new field, and also how to pick up knowledge in multiple different fields, even though they are like little links between each other.
Yeah.
And as an engineer in the engineering development group at MathWorks, I at least 50% of my work is technical support. So I would need to support customers from different industries to help with their problems, to help resolve them, and also figure out who are the right person to reach out to. So definitely the first 2 years of my degree has helped me in my work.
Yeah, brilliant. And how long have you been at MathWorks for? And yeah, what is your current role?
I joined the MathWorks since October last year, and my
Yeah.
current role is an engineer in the Engineering Development Group, or EDG.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much. And Jason, I'm going to come to you last but not least. Yeah, similar kind of thing, if that's okay. Tell us where you studied, what did you study, and why?
Sure. So I studied MEng electronic engineering with computer science at UCL, University College London.
Yep.
And I studied it because, so I entered the degree as electronic and electrical because I was very passionate about maths and physics during my school years. And I saw that electronic engineering as a practical application of the best of both worlds, basically. And during my degree, I got even more passionate about digital electronics, also machine learning. Both my third and fourth year dissertations are machine learning.
Yep.
So that kind of flowed naturally into a computer science specialization. And I do think that approaching computer science from the electrical side, from the building block transistors is a natural way to think and a good way to approach computer science as well. So that is
Yeah.
also a good introduction to the role here.
Yeah. And how long have you been in the role for?
Yep. So I joined in September 2024. So I've been here a year and 3 months now.
And how's that year gone? Has it flown by?
Yeah, so as we've said, you have a lot of agency here to choose the projects that you do and the leadership opportunities that you take on. So I've done a lot of that. I've done a lot of projects with machine learning teams, and I've definitely built my skills, both technical and soft. So yeah, I would say the year has flown by pretty fast.
I can imagine. I can imagine. I can't wait to find out more and hear more about your experiences so far. So, Lara, I'm going to come back to you. So, like you mentioned, you only started MathWorks in September. So you're very early in the project, the program, sorry. So, can you tell us a little bit more about the kind of introduction process, how that's gone for you? How have you settled in? How was, in recruitment terms, the onboarding process for you, and how's it gone?
Um, okay, so let's start with the training process and the getting inducted into the position.
Yeah.
So first you have two types of training, or the formal training is divided into two types. You have the self-paced training, and that is an opportunity to dive deeper into MathWorks products, including MATLAB, Simulink, Simscape, and other products as well. And then you have the more instructor-led and interactive training, and that covers, for example, software engineering workflows, UX experience, user experience, which is UX, and so on.
Yeah.
And then you have the less formal ones, which are, for example, professional communication, which you can develop through customer communication, creating knowledge capture documents. You have opportunities for leadership. Early in your role, that would look like continuous process improvement, and then later in your role, that would take a form of coaching or mentoring newer hires.
Mhm.
And then you also have things like networking series, which are, by the way, led by the other staff here, and it's an opportunity to connect with other people further along their career, and to get an idea of what your career development could look like in MathWorks, and get to know people that can help you get there.
Yeah, because that's the thing. I suppose that's a great aspect to the program, isn't it? That it is so open, but it's good that you also get that guidance as well. So you think, okay, well, where can I go and what can I do? And you can get those snapshots from others. So do you feel already you've got a bit of a direction on where you want to go, or do you still feel it's a little bit too early?
So I very much encourage exploration, and my entire degree is exploration. As you can see, it's bits and pieces of everything. And from my degree, I have a sense of what I want to go into. And so even with so many departments I can explore with, I do have a sense of, okay, maybe this department is the most appropriate for me, but I'm still being encouraged to explore, and I'm still doing that. So I'm through the networking series and through just setting up one-to-one meetings as well. I'm talking to a lot of other teams, seeing what skills I can learn with them, what type of projects I can do with them, seeing if that kind of captures my interest, talk to the team a bit, get to know the environment in that team as well, the smaller environment, and just explore. So I kind of have an idea, and I'm pursuing that idea, but I'm also exploring at the same time, because I have, why not use both opportunities if you have them both? So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And how would you juggle that time, Lara? How do you, obviously you've got your day-to-day work to do and, all that responsibility already quite early on to juggle, okay, well, how do I fit all this in? And how are you managing your time? Are you
So
supported with that?
yeah. So basically, one of the other skills we're really encouraged to develop, and we're very supported in developing, is planning. And as someone who does kind of like, so in uni, I used to do so many things, and I used to plan them so well, and I can manage my time with that. But when you have a shorter day, it's a bit maybe a bit harder to plan, and so your managers actually go with you. You have some training sessions on how to plan, and you're very much supported throughout the process. So what you're expected to do, or what you want to do, is just decide, okay, what is the things I want to pursue? What are the skills I want to do? And then with your one-to-one with your manager, you can just plan out your timeline, and then as it goes, you just adjust. So you can really fit in a lot of things when you plan it out really well, and so that's a
Yeah.
really good skill to pick up, and then that gives you the opportunity to even like squeeze in some more things and learn some more skills. So it kind of works out itself out in the
It
end.
works so well. And Diman, I'm going to bring you in here because you've got a kind of similar situation, obviously been at MathWorks for a similar kind of duration. So yeah, tell me how you're finding your experiences and maybe how you're juggling your day-to-day life.
Yeah. So when you first start, it's really good. It's like a really comprehensive program put together where it's like your sort of maybe first few months are like all planned out for you. This is like sort of roughly what you're going to get up to.
Okay.
And so you never really feel like you've been thrown in the deep end.
Mm.
So obviously, I came from a computer science background, so
Yeah.
I had no experience with MATLAB or Simulink at all.
Okay.
But
Mm.
there's training delivered really well. You learn on the job really,
Hmm.
and part of the work I've been doing is technical support.
Okay.
So it's like it's scheduled in a way where it's like you'll do some training, and then you'll straight away go and work on cases related to that training. So it
Mm.
reinforces this
Yeah.
sort of work that you've been doing.
Yeah.
And the managers really help a lot in sort of juggling
Do
work.
they?
Yeah. So it's really nice that like so I sit really close to my manager and I can sort of go up to him at any time, even if he's busy. He'll always like make time to have a chat if I've got a problem
Yeah.
or anything. So like it makes it a lot easier to sort of juggling because you know you can fall back like there's a safety net almost.
Yeah,
There's no
definitely.
like stress.
So, and I mean this with the most kindness. You don't feel as though you're at a disadvantage then, not knowing those particular products or the particular software. You feel as though it hasn't deterred you, it hasn't put you off, it hasn't made you feel less confident.
No, not at all.
No, because you've got that
Mm.
support.
Yeah, exactly. And like I can ask manager or I can ask literally anyone on the EDG program. Like
Yeah,
everyone's always willing to just come over, talk things through with you.
yeah,
You'll
yeah,
pick things up.
yeah.
Mm.
And again, it's Sophie and Amy, you were saying similar things, don't you? We always get this kind of feedback from MathWorks. When we do these webinars, we're always saying similar things, like you said earlier,
Yeah.
Sophie. You guys always seem like a lovely team where you can ask the questions. You can
Mm.
say, "Oh, I'm not too sure about this," and you think, "Oh, yeah, it must be a lovely place to work." So it's nice that you've
Mm.
got that support.
Mm.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying about training development. So that's really good that you've got that. And Jean Swan, I'm going to come to you next. Obviously you've been there for a year now as well. How have you found your first year? What's the projects been like that you've been involved in? And have you had a similar support, which I'm sure you have?
Mm.
Yeah, so my first year has been both rewarding and also
Yeah.
full of growth. So I've enjoyed a very steady learning curve. I've managed to
Mm.
build skills in both technical and soft part. And I've also had the opportunity, yes, to work on a variety of impactful software development projects. And so far, I've mainly contributed to four projects. The first one is a front-end enhancement project for a product called MATLAB Projects, which mainly involved developing new buttons, callbacks, and dialogues to improve user interface. Second one is a performance optimization project for functions. So it involves enhancing the CPU and GPU performance for a function in the statistics and machine learning toolbox, and also implementing the support for the function to be used in conjunction with GPU array.
Okay.
My third project is a C++ project, which involved creating a CPP microservices component to provide system power notification to users.
Hmm.
And then my fourth project, which is the project that I am currently working on, involves designing and implementing a full stack solution to add robust search functionality to the binary diff app in MATLAB. And all of these projects will be shipped or has been shipped as part of recent MATLAB releases.
Oh, okay.
I'm very proud to have contributed to features
Mm.
that directly benefit the customer.
Yeah.
And yeah, and also to echo, like to answer your question regarding have I received the like the similar support mentioned by Damon and Lara. So I'm going to like focus on the project side of things. So
Mm.
for each of the project I've done, I was assigned a mentor and also a sponsor for my project. So the mentor is usually my first point of contact for my project. I can ask them any questions I may have regarding the project and any blockers I encounter. And also the sponsor is usually the team manager for that project team. What they will do is to mainly help with some high-level stuff, for example, planning for the project, and also some major blockers that the mentors couldn't resolve.
Okay.
So I would say that in terms of doing projects with different project team, we have this very strong support at MathWorks. We have this very robust mentorship system where you can get all the help you need. And also, if you have any questions, if your mentor and sponsor are just not available, you can literally just reach out to anyone, anybody sitting beside you or anybody else on the team. So very robust support, I would say.
That's great. And to go back a step then, so how do you kind of move on to your next project? Is that a project that you've picked, or is that because you're working with a client, they've got a demand, and then you need to obviously figure that out for them? How does that work? How do you pick your next project and where you're going to go next?
Yeah, so basically echoing what Yasin had said about the projects, we have a lot of agency in choosing our projects. So for each of the project, at least that I mentioned, so they are fully decided by me. So I would talk to other EDGers in my free time, and also talk to people from different teams to just explore a bit and figure out which team has the type of work that I'm interested in, and which team can provide this learning opportunity that I'm interested in. For example, I picked my first project because I wanted to practice JavaScript, and I know that the MATLAB projects team, they do a lot of JavaScript, so I went for that. And for my second project, I knew I wanted some experience with MATLAB and also some experience with the machine learning part at MathWorks. And that's why I choose this project that does some performance optimization for the function in the machine learning toolbox. So I would say that in terms of how to pick my next project, I would just talk to people and see which team I'm interested in, and then I would just directly reach out to the developers or the manager in that team, and then see if we can collaborate on a project, see if we could be a great fit. Yeah.
Question might be a silly one. So what happens if you start a project and then you start to think this maybe isn't right for me, and you get an interest in another project? Can you leave that project and move on to something else, or you have to really see the project through?
I have personally never encountered this situation before, but I would say that it is very rare that this happens, because we usually have like very detailed conversations with our potential mentor and sponsor in the potential project team that you're going to work with, so that we know exactly what we're going to do for the upcoming project before the project. And if you feel like, okay, so I've had a detailed conversation with the team, and this team they don't do something that I expected, or okay, so I think this diverges from my expectation. I wanted to, and I'm not sure if I'm interested in this team anymore, then just make sure that you keep all the stakeholders in the loop. State good reasons about why you want or possibly don't want to do a project with this team. And then the mentor and sponsor, they're usually super helpful. If they think that they couldn't provide you the learning opportunity that you want, they wouldn't force you to do a project with them. Instead, they usually will point you to another team
Yeah.
that they think will be a great fit for you. So everybody's super supportive. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, that's great. Yeah,
Jess, I was just going to jump in here because I just wanted to ask Amy something just as we were talking about Jingswan's projects, because as you were talking, there's lots of different skills and lots of different departments and projects that you've worked on. So obviously you're gaining a lot of different skills there, Jingswan. But I just had a bit of a random one for you, Amy. If you kind of saw someone coming in and they kind of were only working in one particular coding language and that's where all of their projects were falling. Is that completely okay? Or would you kind of encourage them to broaden themselves out? Or are you happy for people to just completely kind of really specialize if that's what they want to do?
In the respect of when they join or from their
Yeah,
degree.
through the engineering development group program.
Yeah, I mean, we always encourage exploration. I think, like as Lara kind of mentioned from her side, she had a bit, or has a bit of an idea as to the areas that she's kind of interested in, what she likes. But it is, we always do encourage exploring.
Yeah.
And even if it's a case of just to develop a new skill, if
Mm.
I don't know, maybe you're really strong on MATLAB, but want to sharpen up on like C++. So kind of we do
Mm.
encourage that. So we do look for people that are kind of quite flexible, open to trying, and really kind of embracing that full, I guess, exploration, because I guess that's kind of the
Yeah.
purpose of the program is figuring out. And sometimes we've had people that have joined that have maybe their degree has been quite specialist and they
Yeah.
kind of wanted to target a certain team, but once they join, they then figure out that, well, actually that's not quite what I thought it was.
Hmm.
So it does allow for that exploration still, because it's not always something that you think it's going to be. It's
Yeah.
not always the case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we do encourage that exploration.
Yeah, that's what I thought you'd probably say, Amy, and I just thought it was a good point to make that there's it's really really beneficial, and the types of people that you're looking for through the recruitment process are the people with that type of mindset, isn't it? And Lara and Jingswan have really evidenced that so far, that that getting the exposure across the business is only actually going to help you further down the line. So yes, I wanted to bring you in on that. Sorry, Jess. Over
Yeah,
to you.
no,
I
that's a
think,
really good
yeah.
question. It's a good thought, isn't it? Because yeah, I think
Mm,
the audience that are listening, they're all good
mm.
questions that they'll probably want to know as well. So yeah, thank you for that. Jason, I'm going to come to you. Again, future plans, if you've got any. What do you think it'll look like when you do roll off the program, and where are you thinking of going next?
So indeed, my future plan is that I will be rolling off the program in January 2026.
Yep.
So I will be transferring to the game team, which is a
Oh,
very
oh,
fitting name. It is a generative AI model engineering team, and they are the team in charge of MATLAB Copilot. So they're a very research heavy, sorry, they're a
nice one
very
out.
research heavy team in the deep learning world. As I said, they're developing and delivering MATLAB Copilot, which is auto completions and code explanations using LLMs. And the
Mhm.
very cool thing about that is that we actually do, we do a lot of in-house state-of-the-art research and development for that,
Yeah.
fine-tuning our own LLMs, gathering a lot of data, and so forth. So it is a very hands-on role. And it builds on from, as I said, my experience with the deep learning teams. I've done a lot of projects with the deep learning world here at
Yeah.
MathWorks. My first project was with the deep learning algorithms teams, which builds the core infrastructure of the deep learning toolbox. So I thought it was a very fitting introduction and fundamentals to
Mhm.
the teams that I'm approaching.
Yeah.
And following up from that, I've done a lot of projects spanning a whole range of deliverables and approaches to deep learning. So I've delivered features which are now part of the product. I've built demonstrations which were for consulting engagements or presented at conferences. And I've done a lot of research and development in the current team that I'll be joining. So that is
Wow,
my
well done
future
you.
plan.
That's great. Question about AI. Have you seen a shift from when you started to where you are at now and the projects that you're working on? Have you seen it massively affect kind of the projects that you're doing and how you maybe running projects and how you use it in your day to day compared to maybe where you were when you started?
So in terms of, okay, so AI does affect everything. And as
Everything.
everybody knows, it's becoming a huge buzzword and a huge part of everybody's lives now.
Yeah.
We are encouraged to use sort of AI assistance in coding. So to get tips, you code more efficiently. And
Okay.
you do not rely on AI,
No.
and it can hallucinate, it can say wrong things. You shouldn't rely on it. But using it as an efficiency tool is always helpful and it would accelerate your development. In terms of how that affects the deep learning here at MathWorks, the direction of the teams is very forward thinking, and we do approach the developments in AI and support them for our customers.
Yeah.
So I have worked on engagements with AI for safety critical applications, which is becoming a big, very important topic now, since AI should be integrated safely in applications such as aerospace, automotive. So we cannot just integrate anything, especially things that hallucinate. So yeah, the real developments in the field do affect the projects that we do and the work that is important and high profile.
Yeah, and again, it's an exciting time for all of you, really, especially at MathWorks. That you're always forward thinking, like you say, you're at the forefront of change all the time, coming up with brand new, such amazing ideas. So yeah, it must be such a great place to work when you're surrounded by those kind of people all day, every day. So talking about being surrounded by those types of people all day, every day, I want to talk about the social side of working at MathWorks, if that's okay, and what the culture's really like. So Lara, I'm going to come to you on this one. So as a recent joiner, how have you found kind of the process so far, kind of embedding yourself into work and the work-life balance, and what have you been involved in on that side?
So as I've already mentioned previously, everyone's actually really nice and everyone's really supportive. So the embedding into work part was very straightforward, and it was a smooth process because everyone's so welcoming, everyone's so inviting. No question asked is a silly question. Everyone's willing to help and so on. When it comes to work-to-life balance, there's a lot to do around MathWorks. So I, for example, taken up running and joined the Runners Club in here. And they were, again, so sweet and so inclusive that they even created a beginner weekly session for us to encourage us to keep running with them. So that was very nice.
Yeah.
As an artist as well, there is the Artisan Fair, where people will be able to shop handcrafted treasures, unique gifts, and holiday drinks and bites to support local artists, to support charities. There are also other sports and other clubs of things to do. So you have, for example, badminton, football, language clubs, book clubs, art and crafts groups, and so on.
Yeah.
And there are voluntary, volunteering and other similar activities to support charities if this is also something you want to do. So there's a lot to go around and a lot of things to get involved with, whatever kind of your hobbies are.
Perfect. And Diman, I'm going to bring you in again on this one, if that's okay. Have you had a similar experience since you've joined? What kind of things have you been involved in?
Yeah, so I'm going to touch on the clubs first. It's like Laura mentioned, I've joined the badminton club.
Cool, brilliant.
Yeah, I used to play a little bit at school, and
Yeah.
now it's also nice to get back into it.
Brilliant.
And nice thing is like you meet people from other parts of the company.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a nice way to like meet other people.
Yeah.
I'm gonna repeat myself, The best part is definitely the people and how welcoming they are. It's like
Yeah.
Yasin was one of the new hire buddies. He's like the first person I saw on my first day.
Oh.
And it's just
There
been
is
like,
that kind of culture then of you kind of graduates sticking together. You know each other.
yeah. It's like we'll go out together, we'll go out for lunch together. We'll have lunch together almost every day, really. But it's really supportive. People are really nice. That's like the main thing.
Amy, you are good, aren't you?
We have a great culture. I can't keep up with the clubs. There's always like a new one coming up, and I'm like, I didn't even know that was a thing.
It's great though. It's great that you're again all, being so proactive and doing things inside and outside of work, which is good. Jinx, I'm going to come to you. Do you have any kind of events or graduate events that you've been involved in?
Yeah, so can you clarify what graduate events refers to?
Well, anything that you might have done as as a graduate, all
It's
together.
sort of group events where all the grads get together, anything like that.
Don't worry if not.
Yeah. So we have this team events for different teams at MathWorks. So we organize our own lunches or outings from time to time, typically by booking a nearby restaurant and enjoying lunches together during the workday. And that applies to EDG as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think this is the main event that is joined exclusively by graduates.
Yeah.
But we do have other types of events as well, such as the events held by different affinity groups, such as Women at MathWorks, Black Excellence, Neurodiversity, Pride at MathWorks. And also we have other office-wide events where everybody could join, such as the Halloween celebrations, annual winter celebration, also the annual summer event. And for example, the summer event this year was a weekend away held at a lake resort where math workers can bring their family and friends, which was great.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, that's nice. All this fun stuff. How do you balance
No
it
time for
all?
work.
Yeah,
I was thinking.
How would you fit it all in? And yes, I'm going to come to you about training development as well. So I'm assuming you, as we've all kind of discussed already, that you get lots of support. But how are you juggling that as well as all the fun stuff, as well as the day job? How are you finding your training development support?
Surely. So obviously, as Daman and Lara have said, we all started with the same training, but we have a culture of continuous improvement here at MathWorks. So obviously that doesn't end when you finish your new hire period. You continue learning, you continue growing.
Yeah.
We have touched on leadership opportunities and, the opportunity to take on more responsibility and learn more through that. We can also, we have a very extensive training suite. So you can pick up more trainings. We have trainings on, coding standards, coding principles, even negotiation, dealing with people. So a whole range of topics that you can learn more about. And we also have a culture of book clubs here at MathWorks. We have book clubs that are organized by development teams that EDGers can attend. We also have book clubs organized by EDG. I've attended a book club on C++, following a book on modern standards. I've attended a book club in the deep learning cross-functional team. They present a state-of-the-art published paper every week and discuss it and explain it. And we also currently are starting a book on agentic AI with the Gen AI team that'll be joining. So I'm also attending that one.
That's cool, isn't it? Can Amy, as an outsider, can you access any of this maybe before you start? So, when at the point of you've recruited the
I
individual.
thought you were going to ask for yourself then, Jess. Sorry, that's why I was laughing.
I wish. Definitely not clever enough for that. Could somebody you've just recently hired, but maybe haven't officially started yet, can they access any of this information, Amy?
They probably wouldn't be able to just because of where everything's sort of stored. We also, we don't typically send out pre-hire training. We always kind of say to people, look, everything you need to know, want to get involved in, you can do it from day one. You don't need to do any learning beforehand, don't need to do any prep. Obviously finish up your degree or whatever kind of you're doing and then kind of come in fresh. But we do things like, for instance, before starting, we do some different events and things for the new hires, we have an intern, pre-hire event for them to kind of meet each other, and if they want to kind of network to find accommodation together and things like that. So we do things on that side, but I guess have their community of other new graduates or other interns joining at the same time, but it wouldn't kind of be the wider MathWorks stuff, if that makes sense.
That's good. Perfect. Yeah, no, great. And I've got another question that's come in from a student. And this was Olivia at the University of Edinburgh, submitted this question before the webinar, and she would like to know, what's it like living and working in Cambridge? So Lara, I'm going to come to you on that one, if that's okay. And Daman, I don't know if you want to add to this as well, because you've got friends coming up this weekend to come see you in Cambridge. So how are you finding that for you, Lara?
So there's a couple of things you can do around the city. First and foremost, as everyone knows, you can take tours in the colleges of the University of Cambridge. One unique thing you can do, though, that I didn't know that you can do as a non-student, you can go and have lunch in one of the colleges' dining hall. That's really interesting.
Nice.
You can also, the city itself encouraging cycling. So this
Yeah.
is something new that I've taken up. I've been cycling to work, cycling to most places. There's a lot of safe cycling routes, and there's the cycle to work scheme that you can sign on when you start working at MathWorks. There's a lot of other activities such as punting, which is also new to me. Enjoyed it so much. Pottery, board games, bouldering gym, a lot of green spaces, Jack's Gelato for really unique ice cream.
It's the
So there's a lot of things to
best.
do. There's also events happening both inside the university and city council. So you have concerts, Christmas carol singing, you have fireworks, you have a huge multicultural food scene as well. And if you get bored of all of this, London Central is only 50
Yeah,
minutes
that's
away
another
by
point.
train.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
Quite
Yeah.
nice that way, haven't you? And
yeah.
Deman, are you doing ticking all those things off this weekend then?
Not all those things. I think so they've got a big Christmas market up right now as well.
Oh,
Nice.
Sort of
nice.
my plans
Yeah.
for the weekend.
Mm.
Go
Lovely.
see the Christmas market, end up in city centre, see what
Yeah.
happens.
Have a
Yeah.
good time. Love it. Perfect. Well, thank you so much, guys. So, if I'm going to hand back to you and Amy to find out the next steps on how students can secure a role with MathWorks.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Jess, and thank you, everyone. So yeah, Amy, coming back over to you now. As we've mentioned, your roles are currently live on your hub on Gradcracker. The students click on the job description to apply. What are the next steps from there?
Yes, so obviously, go onto the hub. If you watch any of our like videos and things, have a look at some of like the content and information. Click the link through Gradcracker, and then after you've applied, you will obviously apply with your CV. If you want to add a cover letter, it is optional. We do read them all if we get one, but say it's completely optional. If you do want to upload a cover letter as well. After applying, you'll then be sent links to complete a coding challenge on HackerRank and a short video interview on HireVue. This is for both full-time positions and internships. Slightly different questions, but it's the same process. Once they're completed, they then get reviewed by the recruiting team. So they all come back to kind of someone in the recruiting team to get reviewed. After that review, the graduate team managers, kind of one of them will take a look as well. And then for both full-time and for internships, there is a technical interview. And there's also a manager interview and a HR interview. In terms of like timing as well, say like a vacancies are live now. We are interviewing now, so do apply if you are interested. And we sort of review and do interviews on a rolling basis. So there's no say like deadline, all get reviewed. We kind of interview as we go, as applications come in. It's very much sort of a rolling basis. And then something else, I guess, to add to that, I guess, as we've been talking about AI. So it's always a big question. Can I use AI? What can I do with it in the process? As I guess it's been made quite clear, as an organization, at MathWorks, we are very much encouraged to be using AI as part of our positions, obviously be more efficient and so on. And I guess our guidance for that is we are comfortable with students using AI to enhance things like your CV, your cover letter, practicing interview questions, that kind of thing. But we don't want the AI to be you. We want to meet you, we want to see your skills, we want to see what you can do. And it also helps us in terms of how we can help you develop if we kind of know exactly where you're at as opposed to an AI version of you. The areas that we don't want to see AI being used, and we do have this kind of in the instructions that you get sent, are the coding challenge and technical interview, because we want to see where your skills are. But yeah, I say we kind of send out instructions with that too. But I say kind of when you then join, you'll be very much most likely be using it day to day in some shape or form. So again, if you're comfortable using AI, that's great. But we don't want an AI version of Daman or Lara joining. We want the real kind of them.
Absolutely. You need to see the person and the skills, don't you, to be able to make sure that they're going to be right for MathWorks. And as you've mentioned, the culture is so important, that needs to really kind of shine through, that you'll be part of that as well. Brilliant. Thank you, Amy. So we have our final student question, which is from Ryan at the University of Southampton. And he asks, what makes an application stand out to the recruitment team, Amy?
Yeah, so it's always a good question. As you sort of, I guess, just mentioned there, like culture, and
Mhm.
it is so important to us. And as an organization, we really do, I guess, go by our core values.
Yeah.
So when even things from like the initial sort of higher view video interview and obviously then the interview process, I guess like standout applicants are, I guess, students that have looked into like our core values, our mission, like how we work as a company, and have thought about how that resonates with them,
Mm.
and maybe sort of demonstrated examples of that. They're kind of some of the things that stand out
Yeah.
in terms of alongside obviously having your degree, programming skills, extracurriculars, societies, or
Mhm.
whatever on your CV. But they're kind of some of the things from, especially from the HR side, that
Yeah.
really help.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's it's adding that flavor and that kind of color to the application, isn't it? It's your skills and your experiences at university are very important, but there's also lots and lots of other things that you need to be showcasing. So thank you for that, Amy. So now I'm going to hear about some of our panel's experiences of the recruitment process. So Lara, I'm going to come to you first to talk about the code challenge and video interview and how you found that, and if you had any hints and tips that you could share for those.
So with the coding challenge, you can choose to either complete two lead code style questions in programming languages such as Python, C, C++, Java, whatever you know and you have
Mhm.
experience with, or complete a series of questions in MATLAB programming language. Since I had experience with MATLAB throughout my university journey, I decided to go to the MATLAB choice, and I found that my experience was sufficient to get through the challenge.
Mhm.
However, I would also say that if you practice lead code regularly, then you should also find the lead code style questions are pretty straightforward. And
Mhm.
moving on to the video interview part of things, I saw it kind of divided into two style questions. So the first one would be the why are you interested in this position style question, and the second one is what makes you the ideal candidate for this position.
Mm.
So with the first one, why are you interested in this position? I would recommend reading the job description really well and reading. There are some life in EDG and a day in a life stories published on the MathWorks website. So I'd recommend going, have a look at that, and just pinpoint your interests and find what really inspires you about the role and about the company and why you see yourself in that position. Even if you can mention that on your cover letter or your interview, this video interview or future interviews, and that would really still help your application. And
Mhm.
then the other one, the what makes you the ideal candidate for this position, I would highly advise to read about the company's core values and find out what you have in common with them, as
Yeah.
that would guide you and tell you if you would really fit into that company environment, and you would really find yourself like a longer career there as well. So
Mhm.
in summary, I would say practice Leet Code and MATLAB before the code challenge or MATLAB. Research the company and learn about their common values, their core values, and match them with yours. And finally, there's also an interviewing at MathWorks page published on the MathWorks website, where you can find tips on the interviewing process. So I would also give that a visit just for a conclusive.
Thank you very much, Laura. And yeah, all that information is also on the Gradcracker Company Hub. So if you're researching the roles, you've got everything in one place for you there. But thank you so much for that overview, Laura, and the guidance. It's always great to hear from somebody who's been through that process and obviously has been successful throughout it. Daman, coming over to you, we're going to talk about the virtual interviews. Tell us about those and any preparation or tips you can give around that.
Yeah. So after the first sort of stage that Laura touched on, you'll sort of have first contact with a manager and they'll sort of schedule a chat with you. They'll tell you more about the role. They'll also get to know you a bit better.
Hmm.
And then the virtual interview, so the main bit is like in three parts, where you
Yeah.
have your technical interview, where you go over your CV and you'll do like two leak code style questions. And then you'll also have an HR interview and a manager interview. So I'll go over the technical interview because that's what people usually want to know more about. I'd say it's very important to be aware of everything you've put on your CV because
Mm.
they will go in depth on sort of things you've put on there.
Yeah.
And, so you should be able to sort of go into technical depth about your sort of projects you've done, any sort of skills you've listed that you have on there. And really like
Mm.
you take the chance in the interview to sort of showcase your experience, your skills, your interests.
Yeah.
Because like it can be a bit stressful that it's like an interview, but it's also an
Mm.
opportunity for you to really show the interviewers, this is me, this is what I'm good at. You should hire me.
Yeah.
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 Mhm.
Yeah.
Doing some LeetCode style prep is also very useful. More so that you should be comfortable talking through your solutions. It's like
Mm.
another skill you can demonstrate. It's it's good that you understand the code, but can you explain what you're writing as well? That's very
Yeah.
important. Those are like the
Yeah.
big tips. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant. I think that's great. Like you said, the technical interview can be a little bit daunting, but knowing exactly what you've put on your application, what's in your CV, and able to explain that in depth is a great tip for everybody to kind of hear what to expect and what they might be asked as well. Thank you so much. So Jingswan and Yasin, I'm going to come to you two now because as returning interns, obviously your process was slightly different from going to joining as grad. So can you tell me a little bit about what that process looked like for you? Jingswan, starting with you.
Yeah, sure. So during my internship at MathWorks, there was this mutual assessment process. So both
Hmm.
MathWorks and I were evaluating if we are a great fit for the long term. My
Hmm.
intern project was mainly about adding a MATLAB projects plugin to an internal cloud platform. And
Hmm.
throughout the project, it gave me valuable insight into the day-to-day work of a software developer at MathWorks. And I also participated in the intern networking series, which
Hmm.
is a series where various UK-based teams present their work to the interns to introduce what they do and what opportunities are available. So this exposure helped me understand what range of projects opportunities are available within the engineering development group. And then
Hmm.
shortly after my internship ended, I received an email from MathWorks extending a return offer. And then the rest of the process was pretty smooth, well organized.
Hmm.
So MathWorks arranged two calls with me, one
Hmm.
with the HR, who is Amy, who's also in the
Hmm.
meeting, and the other with my internship manager to
Hmm.
basically go over all the details of the offer and answer any questions I had. And overall, it was super quick, informative. I was impressed by MathWorks' supportive culture and the many learning opportunities there. So it was an easy decision for me to accept the
Yeah. Oh, amazing. And how nice that must have been as well during your final year of university, to have that kind of taken off there and knowing that you were going back to somewhere that you really, really enjoyed working. Thank you very
yeah.
much for that. Jason, same to you. Tell us a little bit more about your experience.
Hmm. So I definitely echo everything that Jinchuan said. The process of receiving the return offer was very similar for me, and the process of
Mhm.
accepting it and joining.
Mhm.
One thing that I can expand on is that both during my internship and as a new hire, I felt that this is a very well organized company that ramps you up very in a very efficient and also organized and structured manner.
Mm.
So yeah, I never felt at a loss of support. I always knew who to turn to. I always was supported. I was matched to a buddy. I'm a
Mm.
buddy for these guys now.
Oh.
So
Well, full
it was a
circle.
very smooth process, both during the internship and as a new hire.
Amazing. And Amy, that is all down to you, isn't
Mm.
it?
I take
So
the
yeah, yeah,
credit.
yeah, just take it. Amazing. Thank you so much, everyone. It's always great for our audience to hear from people that have recently been through the process and what that looks like from the different ways that you could enter the company. So thank you so much for that. So Amy, final question to you. Any final hints and tips you want to give our audience today about, going through that process with you?
Yeah, I think probably along the same sort of lines as earlier. Just really be yourself. We want to see who you are. We want to see what you can bring to the team. I think like we've sort of mentioned throughout, it's a very diverse team with people from different backgrounds, and we do believe that everyone can add value. So kind of be yourself. So make sure that you can talk through everything on your CV. Also include any like non-technical work experience if you have it. We do want to see like transferable skills. That's always great to see, especially if you haven't maybe done like an internship before, or you're applying for your first internship. Think about anything that you've done that does sort of highlight any transferable skills. I've mentioned sort of the core values already, and I guess finally, just use it as a chance to interview us too. Like, do you feel comfortable asking us questions, whether it's me or somebody in the EDG team that you're meeting with, or the manager? Figure out things you want to know from us, be open on your interests, and use it, I guess, as also the process for you to get information that you want to make sure that we're the right company for you. So that's something that I think is really key to make sure. I mean, it's got to work both ways. So we want kind of
Absolutely.
want you to feel comfortable about the company that you're joining, and you know everything that you want to know before, say, accepting an offer.
Yeah. Perfect. Brilliant. Thank you so much, Amy. And thank you everyone for giving us such a great insight into MathWorks today. It's always wonderful hearing about the experiences and life at MathWorks, and today's been, no exception. So the recording of this webinar will be available for you to watch in full tomorrow on the MathWorks Gradcracker Company Hub. We'll also then break this up into some bite-sized highlights covering some of the key topics that we've discussed today. And remember that our employers absolutely love it when you tell them you've watched their webinar, as they know that means that you've got a really good understanding of their company, and it shows that you have a real interest in working for them. So make sure you go and get your applications in for MathWorks and let them know that you were here today. So that's it for this year, but Carla and Jess will be back on the 8th of January, where they'll be joined by DNV. So make sure you get registering for that webinar. And thank you to everyone who's watched our webinars this term, and all the fantastic employers who have joined us. And we look forward to seeing everyone again in the new year. But thank you once again to MathWorks. Bye-bye.
Thank you guys. Bye. Bye-bye.